And so we took that and said, okay, now how do we make this work for Casey? Because normally he would take a rock climbing shoe, put it on a prosthetic foot, and try and climb. And just the interface, the connections are kind of, you start adding things like that, and it doesn't really work for him. And so we wanted to make it stronger and more solid. And part of that is that the material that the shoe's made out of, the gripping on the rock and has to be, when he slides down, it doesn't, tear off or wear off. And I have a background in urethane, and so I took urethane and formulated it. The nice thing about urethane is it's an engineering material. And in SolidWorks, when you click on materials for your design, and you say urethane or something, it has tensile strength and other things that are important. But urethane can be tailored to suit very specific applications. You can make it high rebound, you can control tensile strength, elongation. And here I have two urethane balls, similar material, same size, same weight. And by tailoring the engineering properties, I can make one bounce and one not just by changing the chemistry. And so we use that to make a grippy material for the shoe. It was not going to slip off the rock face when it's wet, when it's dry, cold or hot, and not wear out. So.
And I think what's neat here is all the iterations that you went through and the material tweaking. And what's nice about their process is as they come up with concepts, Bill fabricates them so quickly and Casey tests them. And again, we have another clip of you actually using the climbing foot.
Casey's been an amputee longer than he's had two legs. These aren't just prosthetics. They're part of it.
My challenge on this really is to push it until it fails. The design's good, but the rubber's bad. And with bad rubber, I do that.
So it was really, you honed in on a shape, then you worked the material properties, and then you refined the shape even further.
Right. We got a shape in that video clip you saw that was probably an intermediate shape now. Okay. And then once Bill got the rubber, we again changed the shape again to bevel the edges back, to put the faceted edge. And then we started putting smearing surfaces on where you can have, you hold with your foot, you just put as much surface area as you can on the rock, or you do what's called a toe smear.
Right.
And the rubber dictated the shape of the foot after we got to that point, which was really great. And instead of having my extreme rock climbing foot, which is what we started with, was something just for me, we ended up coming out with one of our best products, which is a rock climbing foot that is great for a beginner,
right,
and great for an advanced climber. And our whole goal is to make the cost extremely reasonable.
And it opens up this sport to everybody.
Right, to every amputee.
And true to form, if you look at this design, I don't know if you can see this, but they actually added an adapter to a clipless bicycle pedal as well. So you're using this not only for climbing, but mountain biking?
Right, this is my Saturday activity foot. I get on my bike, I ride to the rock climbing wall, I climb all day, and then I come home. And
right.
I don't ever have to even wear my standard prosthetic foot.
It's also evolving. I mean, that could be a bottle opener.
So they focus on a lot of recreational activities, but they also look at prosthetics as a way of enhancing a career. And you've seen his hobbies. It's no surprise that Casey also has a very interesting career. Let's take a peek at this.
3, 2, 1.
Casey Pieretti, professional stuntman. He's been shot, beaten, blown up, and eaten by a bug.
I can do everything a regular stuntman can do, and I can blow off my legs.
I'm going to throw out my couch when I get home, Casey. I've been sitting in it too long. So how'd you get into this?
The stunt work was something that just came about, I guess, from my lifestyle mostly. But after I lost my leg, I got back into sports, and I ended up being an inline skater. Right. And I was skating for Team Rollerblade when a stunt coordinator saw me and said, you'd be a really good stuntman, and offered to train me. I took him up on it, and one day I got a call to work on a movie called Starship Troopers, to double an actor who was getting his leg bit off by a bug, which you saw in the clip. They had set up the scene to be broken apart so they could, have me run in, or have the actor run in, and then have me take his place, and then the bug comes down, grabs his leg, and then they stop again, and they just broke it up. And I, being the person that I am, said, hey, you know, I could run in, the bug could bite me, I could release my leg, and it could throw me back, and we could do it all in one shot. And the stunt coordinator was like, really? You can do that? And I'm like, I can do that. I explained it how I would build the breakaway leg and how it would work, and he's like, all right, we'll give that a shot. We'll have my way as backup, though. So I went out to location, I shot that shot.
Right.
We did exactly what I wanted to do, and it worked great. And that was like the beginning of my career as a stuntman, and it's just progressed from there. On another film, they wanted to have me get hit by a bomb in a war film, and I needed to run into the shot and have my leg break apart in air.
On demand.
On demand. And my first instinct was to get on the bat phone and call Bill.
Back to Bill.
So I get this phone call. You know, every engineer would like to have this phone call, I think. You know, Casey says, hey, Bill, I'd like to have my leg blow off. How do we do that? So, you know, I think about that, and we had to come up with a way. The connection has to be rock solid. If he's going to running, jumping, he's going off these air ram things, flying through the air, and then when you release this thing, it's going to have to be, you know, every time, very positive release. So the rock solid part incorporates the fact it's going to be in air, water, mud, hot, cold, you know, fake blood, which is corn syrup, I think, goopy stuff, and it still has to work every single time.
And I should point out, if you look in the picture, the air ram is actually the little device on the ground that propels you up in the air. And they're extremely dangerous. So what you're saying is these things, it has to function as a normal leg until that critical time.
Right. It was really crucial that the leg would be as solid as could be. I had to have complete faith that I could run up to the air ram and it wouldn't break.
Right.
The first time I used it on a show, and I'm facing the air ram, and if the leg misfired on my approach and I fell down onto the air ram, any part of my body that's on that air ram was going to severely injure me. If it was my head, it could even kill me, because that shot was, I was going over a bunch of trees, and I had to fly 20 feet and then land on my back. And I was extremely nervous. We did the test runs, everything worked great. And it just opened up a lot of avenues as to what creativity we could have just on the movie set in doing this.
And is it working now?
It works wonderfully.
Can I give you a shot?
Sure. All right. Ready?
You ready? So it's impressive. Now, Bill, where do you think you're going to...
Okay, you can have it back.
What's next for this design? Are you taking it further, or are you happy with this one?
I don't think the design's really ever done, you know.
Okay.
So what we want to really try to do is take this breakaway leg, but also incorporate the air ram. So somehow have a piston, and it would throw him up in the air and then blow off. All self-contained, eliminate that, the whole contraption thing. And then you wouldn't have to have, for movies, have to hide that part of it. You could just do the scene and have it explode.
Right.
We'll see.
Right. Which is a fantastic idea. I mean, it just, you know, to not have the air ram in there becomes a whole new thing.
Okay.
And the thought of having a device, which we've prototyped, that can throw me 10 or 15 feet in the air opens up even more doors.
Right.
You know, I just think if we can make something that I can jump 10 feet in the air with, why can't we make a leg that I can run faster than any human being?
Right.
Beyond that, I think I see these fabulous, you know, the sprinters that you see that are missing both legs. We've talked about how we can make legs for them that make them run as fast as a cheetah.
And I think that's terrific. And I should point out that your goals aren't only to work exclusively with amputees. You want to work with everyone.
Right, exactly. We want to find people and just say, who do you want to be today?
And I think that's just a terrific vision. So we're excited, and I know I'm a big fan already. The show aired in December, and we're looking forward to the first season. I have a warm spot on my DVR waiting for you guys. I'm already a big fan. And, of course, we're so excited. When we watched it, and it's a true story, one of our engineers was up late night working on a project, and he watched the episode. And the second he saw it, he thought this would be perfect. And then they actually showed some SolidWorks, which just got him so excited he called us all in the morning. So we are excited to be a part of it. And I appreciate you sharing your vision with us, and we hope we wish you well with